What's up, everyone? This is Abion coming back to you for game number 2 between these awesome peoples. These awesome peoples are in the 12 o'clock position. Red Zerg player Sen. His opponent in the 3 o'clock position is the Blue Zerg July. I have mentioned that this is game 2. July did take the first game by storm. An epic roach on roach baneling action. So yeah, that's an interesting map right there. Coming from Crossfire into the Shattered Temple. And I would say it would be a little bit more difficult to find where your opponent is in a 4-player map such as Shattered Temple as opposed to a 2-player map from Crossfire. But the 2 players have spawned at close by air positions. They immediately scout each other using overlords. So not a huge amount of surprise there. Sen has gone for the extractor trick, so he did jump ahead in the workers for just a minute, but don't think he's going to stay ahead for very long, as July did pull ahead with just a regular droning and get the overlord timing. Overlord's going to chill above this. Overlord's going to just chill above the base on both sides. Once again, actions almost mirroring, other than that extractor trick that Sen pulled off. And it looks like Sen is going to go ahead and get ready to expand. July doing the exact same thing. July getting his expansion up just a couple of seconds before Sen does. That could be a slight advantage, but it's also fairly small amount of difference that it probably won't matter too much. They are almost neck and neck on these hatchery timings. Sen's going to throw down an extractor, and July got an extractor of his own a little bit earlier, throwing down a spawning pool as well. July earlier than Sen on the spawning pool, though, and it is actually fairly significantly earlier than Sen's spawning pool. So this could be quite a huge difference in the spawning pool timings. As July is going to be able to get queens and zerglings out faster than Sen is, especially that queen with being able to inject the larva sooner is going to make a big difference. Gas production coming along quite swimmingly for both players. Expansions for both players about ready to get done. Sen is going to scout the expansion of July, and July likewise is going to scout the expansion of Sen. So July doing more or less the same thing that Sen has been doing, just slightly sooner. There's a couple of worker transfers coming down from July, whereas one worker transfer for Sen. Both players not really focusing a whole lot on the droning, interestingly enough. Well, there's a couple more drones coming out there. Yeah, queens are on the way for both players. 2 queens apiece, 1 queen at both the main and the expansion. Baneling nest coming up for July. There's a first step into the tech that we could see. July got his Zergling speed upgrade on the way, has not pulled workers off of the expansion. Sen having done the same thing and has pulled 2 drones off of the gas rather than all of them. So 1 drone on gas for Sen. July has 3 drones on his gas, which makes sense, is if July is going for this early baneling play, he's going to need all the gas that he can get. Whereas Sen's putting on a baneling nest of his own significantly later than Sen's putting down significantly later than July, I should say. There we go. So expansions for both players are fairly up and running. No extra gases that I can see. Spinecrawler going down at the entrance of July, and Sen looked like he's just opting to instead to go for lots and lots and lots and lots of zerglings early on. 24 zerglings at this early on. It looks like he's going to be going for some early harassment. Some zergling pokes for July is going to reveal that there are a lot of zerglings now on the field. They're all running across the map as fast as they possibly can. But July does have a couple of banelings ready to take this on. Sen keeping his zerglings split up so he can try and bait the banelings into attacking early on. But the Spinecrawler is able to take care of those single solitary zerglings, while July micros his zerglings micros his Baneling so they don't explode prematurely. One Baneling does go off right there, taking on just a few Zerglings. Another one, excellent micro there by Sen. Baneling being wasted on just a single Zergling. However, July has put in 4 more Banelings on the way. The combination of these Banelings and these Spine Crawlers makes Sen just not able to do enough damage that he wants to. These Banelings just get just too big of a threat. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me lately? Excuse me. Oh man! Oh, Sen just taking his eye off of his Zerglings just a little bit long enough for one Baneling to take out so many Zerglings. However, likewise, Sen is also going to go for the Zerglings, but a Baneling does slip past it. One Baneling is not enough damage, not enough to kill a drone, but it will do lots and lots of damage. Zerglings will run back here and finish off the drones that were that were damaged by the Baneling. So a good amount of drones there taken out by Sen. Let's see, 4 workers killed. That is a respectable amount there. Not a whole lot though, as Sen can just go ahead and replace those drones immediately, but that will mean extra larva. Now July coming in trying to focus fire down a couple more drones. Does get one before his Zerglings go down, so that will make them an even trade right there. Both players pretty much matching each other equally on the Overlord placement, getting view of almost the entire highway between the 2 bases. Sen is going to go ahead and grab the Xel'Naga Tower, give him just a little bit more vision. But July now has roaches on the field, so the time for Zerglings is just about over. Both players are going to go ahead and grab missile attacks level 1, so I think Sen's going to have some roaches on the field as well. Maybe not. He does have a couple of evolution chambers down, getting the researches, one on the missile attacks level 1 and ground armor level 1, but I don't see a roach warren anywhere. So he is not able to make roaches at the moment. Excuse me. But he will be able to transition very quickly into those roaches. There's the roach warren going down right there. So that will be up momentarily. About the same time these upgrades will be done, the roach warren will be complete and the roaches will spit out with lots of upgrades. So July will have to attack fairly soon if he wants to maintain his advantage. Otherwise, he's going to be losing the... he's going to be facing an opponent who also has roaches, and those roaches will have an upgrade advantage. So July will just have to rely on his numbers for having roaches for much longer than Sen does. And July does have a lot of roaches. That is 27 roaches currently on the field, with 6 more in production. But Sen is not taking any chances. Got a Spine Crawler already down, 3 more on the way. They're just going to pop up here in just a second. Spawning pool, bailing. There's Roach Warren has finished, and now 11 roaches are coming out for Sen. So he is ready to transition out of the early Zergling harassment stage. July also taking no chances getting his roaches directly in the expansion's mineral line, just in case any kind of Zergling Rungbites come by. But July is now starting to move out. That is an insane amount of roaches. Let's see, how many is that? That is 29 roaches, 12 Zerglings that are on the field somewhere. There they are, bringing up the rear. Sen sees this happening. He's got 19 roaches and 4 drones on the way. Drones turning in, or not drones, Zerglings. 3 Banelings are currently in production. Sen is also getting the roach movement speed, although I'm not entirely sure if there's an army of this size knocking at your front door. I don't know if now is the time to get upgrades. Sen is also getting an infestation pit, but I think he may be focusing on upgrades a little too much. Here comes the Banelings frying a lot of roaches. Wow! And now this massive amount of roaches are going to be knocking immediately at Sen's door. Sen is going to try and get these roaches, but Sen is focusing down the Spine Crawlers, and 2 of them go down, and now but July going to be forced to pull back as there are a little too many roaches coming out in the field, and 2 Spine Crawlers are still up. Queens are coming out to spit away the Overlords. Not going to let July give enough more vision than he needs to know. But there is a lot of roaches moving up to reinforce July's army, as well as a couple of Spine Crawlers slowly making their way up. July does not quite have the lair tech just yet, but Sen does have his infestation bit has finished. Pathogen glands on the way, so as soon as that's done, the infestors will be able to pop out and fungal growth, all these roaches, and they'll be sitting ducks. But the question is, will it be done in time, as July is just sitting comfortably at Sin's front door. And really, as soon as these banelings are going to come in, a couple more banelings being morphed in, the spine crawlers have almost made the entire trek. Banelings, not quite the even trade there. All those banelings only takes out 1 roaches, but those rest of the banelings are going to do quite a bit of damage. Here come the spine crawlers right here. Roaches coming in to try to take a lot of the damage. Spine crawlers are now on July's creep. One of them is going to plant. The other one doesn't quite have enough room to get in there. But that spine crawler is going to be allowed to finish. And there we go, the spine crawler right there. But it is then going to be immediately focused by Sen. Is only going to be able to get 1 poke off. There comes some Zerglings to try and do a little bit more damage. But July has been successfully thwarted. There's going to be the... what? I guess it is fairly obvious that July is in the weaker position, but still, that is a bit of an early GG. Huh. It's July just not quite able to break down those defenses for Sen, and Sen does still have quite a lot of roaches out on the field. That is 38 roaches, I believe. Or 26, whatever. Yeah, there we go, 26. So, yeah, interesting turnout right there. July with the early GG. I can kind of understand why he would do that, but still. Huh. Well, anyway, Sen takes game number 2. That puts the tally to 1 win apiece. So, yeah. This is a best of 5 round. That was game 2, so we'll move on to game number 3. I'll see you guys in the next game.